What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out a brand new e-bike from Tesway. The one that we have here today, it's called the X5. So this is a folding e-bike, so you could fold it, you could make it a bit easier, maybe easier to store and so on. This is also powered by a 750 watt motor that's located in the rear wheel here, and we also get two seats, so one for the rider and one for a passenger. Now personally I only took my daughter on this bike on a short ride, so I'm not sure if I would like to have an adult sitting in the back there, but there is potential. But you can also remove the back seat here and you can install a basket or anything like that. You can also remove those passenger foot pegs that I have installed on the bike. So you could potentially carry some stuff on the back of the bike. The bike also has a front and rear suspension. The front suspension has about 2 inches of travel, so definitely not the most that I've seen on an e-bike. So if you go on some steeper hills, you will feel that suspension bottoming out in some situations. However, the rear suspension is a bit beefier than most e-bikes out there, so you could have more weight on the back of this bike when compared to other e-bikes out there. Now, because we also have a lot of metal, a lot more metal than normal, the bike is also quite heavy. So this weighs about 47 kilos. So one of the heaviest bikes that I got to try up until now. So it's not going to be that easy to carry this around. Mostly when you fold it, it becomes quite a difficult object to move around. So keep that in mind. It is a heavy bike. On the front and of course on the back we have 20-inch wheels, and these are also 4-inch wide tires, what's called the fat tires basically. Now when you ride with these tires you can basically go over any terrain. I've been riding around here on grass, I can go up that hill, I can go over rocks and so on. So you can also do a bit of off-roading with this bike if you'd like, because those big tires will definitely help. The bike also has plastic mud guards here on the front and of course on the back, so those will help protect you if you're riding in the rain. Personally, I didn't ride in the rain with the bike, but it is wet out here today, so I didn't actually get splashed with water anywhere. Those mud guards also don't make any noise, so that's another plus. The bike also has mechanical disc brakes on the front and on the back. These are 180mm disc brakes on the front and of course on the back, and the stopping power is pretty good as well. So if you're riding at the top speed of the bike, which is 32 kilometers an hour, I believe that's the legal speed limit for an e-bike in Canada, you can definitely stop pretty quick with those disc brakes that we have on this bike. And I'm also happy to say that the disc brakes don't actually make any noise when braking or whenever you're riding normally. The rider seat here is adjustable in height, so you can make this lower or higher. The handlebar here, you could also adjust it a bit more towards you, so whenever you're riding you have a very straight position, so it's not uncomfortable by any means. I could probably go as far as saying that this is one of the most comfortable e-bikes that I got to try up until now, because the riding position is nice and straight, the front suspension helps, the rear suspension helps, and also those massive tires whenever you go over bumps and uneven terrain. On top of that, the seat here, so this is the rider seat, has a lot of padding, so it's a nice and soft seat. So very comfortable bike to ride. Just below the seat here we have the battery pack. The battery pack can also be removed, so there is a key that comes in the box. Actually there are two keys that come in the box, so you can easily remove that battery pack and you can charge it at home if you'd like. Charging that takes about 8 hours with the charger that comes in the box, and on one charge you can get about 80 to 120 kilometers of range, because this is a fairly large battery pack as well. But again, that will depend a lot on many factors. So it depends how cold it is, it depends what kind of terrain you're riding on, it depends how heavy you are, but you should easily be able to get about 80 kilometers on one charge. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the bike is powered by a 750 watt motor that's located in the rear wheel here. For power, you have plenty of power, but I've said that for pretty much all e-bikes that have 750 watt motors. So if you're riding on flat surfaces, no problems whatsoever reaching that top speed of 32 kilometers an hour. And even if you have hills, you have plenty of power, so you don't actually have to put that much effort into riding. So a lot of power for pretty much any situation. Now, I'm not sure how that power would do if you have the second adult sitting in the back seat there, but for one person, plenty of power for all situations. Now, if you do run out of power, you can still ride this bike as a regular bicycle. So the bicycle is also equipped with a 7-gear Shimano shifter. Now, this is an entry-level Shimano shifter, but shifting gears up and down is done flawlessly. So you can basically lower the gear and you can still ride this bike even if you run out of power. But what I prefer doing is riding it and have the motor assisting me while riding. Now, talking about that, so you can ride the bike that way. The bike is equipped with a speed sensor. So basically, after you start pedaling, the bike will sense that you're moving and it will give you power. But you can also accelerate to the throttle here. So the bike has a throttle as well. So if you don't want to pedal at all, you can just ride this bike by accelerating from the throttle here. So let me quickly show you that. So we'll power on the bike, assistance level 2. So you can easily do that as well if you don't want to pedal. Moving on to the handlebar. So as I mentioned earlier, the handlebar can be adjusted slightly towards you depending on the riding situation. If you are taller, for example, you can have it a bit more forward. So you can kind of customize the riding position how you want. The grips here don't seem to move no matter what you do. The brake levers are here. They are made out of plastic. I have to say they feel a bit on the cheap side. On the left hand side here we have the power button and basically all the other buttons, so you can control everything about the bike. So you can control the assistance level, you can turn on or off the headlight and the tail light. So talking about those, the front light here is quite bright, so you can still see that even whenever you are riding during the day. Bright enough at night so it can light the path ahead of you. On the back here we have the rear lights, so this is also pretty bright, so you can still see this during the day, and that also acts as a brake light. So whenever you press one of the brake levers, that will light up more. Moving on to the center of the handlebar, here we have the screen. Now the screen is visible during the day. Now here it doesn't get that bright, as you can probably see for yourself, so I can clearly see the screen without any issues. I'm not sure how the screen will do if it's super bright out, but for a day like this, no problems seeing the screen. The screen will show you the speed. You can change that to kilometers or 2 miles depending where you're riding the bike. It will show you how much battery you have, the assistance level, the odometer, and so on. On the right hand side of the handlebar here we have the shifter. As I mentioned earlier, shifting gears up and down is done flawlessly, and we also have the horn here, which is quite loud. Alright, so let me quickly show you how you would ride this bike. So we basically have the power button right here. You hold this pressed for about 3 seconds and then the bike will turn on. We are in assistance level 1. So you can basically pedal or you can accelerate from here and the bike will basically accelerate and you don't have to pedal. Let me show you how that works first. So that easy, but if you want, so I'll stop, you can start pedaling and then the bike will start assisting you. So let me show you how that works. So as soon as you start pedaling, the bike will start assisting. You can probably hear that motor. From the button here you can change assistance levels as well. So now we are in assistance level 2, so the bike will go faster, but for this video I'm just gonna show you how that works. So that easy riding this bike. If you don't want to pedal at all, you can switch to the throttle and you can accelerate that way. So very easy riding the X5 here. Alright, so to quickly conclude this video, the Tesway X5 e-bike here is a very comfortable e-bike. You get plenty of range because we have a larger than normal battery pack. For power, you do have plenty of power for pretty much any situation. Even if you're riding uphill, no problems whatsoever. The bike has plenty of power. Now, this seat on the back here I would probably remove. I don't think that I would carry passengers on the back of my bike. I don't know how safe that is, and well, you just don't want to carry passengers. I'd rather have some storage on the back here. The front and rear suspension also helps a lot with the overall comfort. The massive tires that we have on the front and on the back will also help you do a bit of off-roading if you have to as well. So overall, a pretty cool bike, the X5 that we have here. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.